them up. But before that, I just want to let you know that follow us on Facebook under Family Awareness and Recovery. So please go like and comment, encourage your parents, tell your granny, tell your neighbor, go like and comment. So yeah, please give a round of applause for our speakers today as they come.
Good day, my name is AJ and I'm a recovering addict. Thanks to
Fairvale.
Understanding. Yeah?
Thanks to Mr. Stephanus and Fairvale.
Yeah, I'm getting thanks to Mr. Stephanus for offering us the opportunity to come and share at the school, speak to the students, and yeah, basically, this is what we do on a daily basis. Recovery is a part of my life now. I'm going to share part of my life and what drugs did to me and the road I led whilst taking drugs. So, same like you students, I was once in school, a young lad. All hopes was looking up for me, I had ambitions, I had goals in life, I wanted to become someone one day, but little did I realize that one day, I'm going to pick up drugs and my life is going to get ruined. My life got messed up. All these dreams, aspirations, all these goals that I had and all the best intentions flew out the window, and yeah, my addiction progressed from weed to sugars. That was the last drug of my choice. Everyone knows it as heroin, but I finished off in a very bad place. I've been to prison on numerous occasions. I've been sleeping on the streets of Durban. I've been selling all my clothes. I've been kicked out of my house many a times, all because I wanted to use drugs. And my life became so unmanageable. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. In school, I took everything for granted. I should make fun of the teachers. I should smoke in the corridors. I should bunk school. And that was a way of life for me. I thought I was having fun at that time. Now, at the age I am right now, I sit back and I think, hey, what I did to myself and what life I led. Because, hey, without education today, you're like no one today. And you can't get a job today. I'm a high school dropout. I failed standard 8. That time we should call it 8, grade 10 now. I failed, and the only reason I went back to school was to hustle and bustle by the other children. I should rob other children for their money. I should extort the children for their money, and that became a way of life for me. But today, I have this regret. I have no education. I lost everything. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. At the age of 14, going on to 15, I was in my first rehab. And now I was caught in a school for smoking drugs. I was under social worker care, and the teachers couldn't do me anything. So they contacted my social worker. I've been institutionalized in a government facility, Newlands Park Center, at the age of 14 years old. So by then I was already involved. For my first case, I broke into a tuck shop in the road, stole all the cool drinks, and to feed my appetite. That's where this drugs was taking me. But I didn't see anything wrong at that time. When I came into recovery, I belonged to Narcotics Anonymous. I belong to Alcoholics Anonymous. That's my recovery program that I follow today. So when I came into recovery, they told me there's 3 phases of my drug usage. And then when I was in school, I was having fun. And then when I grew a little older, when I left school, I was having fun and I was only problems. And then I reached a stage where I was only having problems. As I said, getting involved with the law, being in prison, being invisible, locked up, sentenced, sleeping on the streets, selling all my clothes. Now, if I knew that when I was in school, that addiction is a progressive illness, or it's a progressive disease that I'm suffering from. Only when I came into recovery, I got to learn that addiction is a disease where medicine has no cure for it. Because me going to the rehab, taking some medication, trying some methadone and other substances to stop my addiction never worked for me. Addiction it affects you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So if I look at my life, that's how I was affected now. I couldn't think like a normal human being, because a normal human being at the age of 25 or after school, finish their metric, go to study or find a job and go to work 8 to 4. But for me, being the person I am, my life was revolved around getting and using and finding ways and means to get more drugs. Now, how to get more drugs? Steal from other people, rob other people, get involved, sell my things, sell drugs. I did all of these things. So my life now that I found recovery is much more peaceful now. But I don't want you all to fall down this path. That's why we have to tell you all now. You don't have to go down this path of destruction. Alcohol and drugs is only going to waste your life. You're going to be like me. When I finished school, I was 17 years old. Never finished school. But the mentality was, I'll go to school till I'm 17. And then I'll leave school when I'm 17. I never even complete grade 10. But that was my thinking now. My thinking goes off when I pick up drugs. So from 17 to 26, I was caught up in drugs. When it came 2010, I decided, not even me, I found another friend of a friend who had a rehab. That's how I came to Promise Recovery Center in 2010, in December. And my life was so messed up, but I got an opportunity to change my life. So I went to this rehab. I stuck around for a little while, but now this disease of addiction, it affects me mentally now. My thinking is not right. It affects me now. So my thinking, I need to change my thinking. When I change my thinking, I'll change my direction in life. So I never changed my thinking. I wanted to become the same person I was. Go to the nightclubs, drink alcohol, join in the taxis. That's where I used to hang around. Those were my playgrounds. Those were my playmates. Those are the people I used to look up to now. Gangsters, people who live a fast-moving life. I look up to people like that. I wanted to become a gangster when I was a young boy. Stand on the street corners, hustle and bustle, sell drugs. That became my goal now, to become somebody I'm not. I put on this mask now of becoming a gangster. But I became a hobo in my own house. Addiction has robbed me for everything. Even in my own house. Smoking sugars, sleeping on the street. When advances call you inside, you don't want to bath. You don't want to do anything. You can't eat. You only want to use drugs. And this drug of my choice was, hey, you can't function without it. You can't buy and get a graph. You can't live like a normal person. But coming into recovery has given me a new perspective on life. Now I want to live now. I don't want to commit suicide anymore. I don't want to kill myself. I want to live now and help somebody that's suffering, who's afflicted with the same problem like me. As I said, addiction is a disease. So there are many people that are suffering with this who don't know there's a way out. So we found a way out, myself and my friend. We found a way out, we found a way through Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous. That's our recovery program that we follow now. So we go around telling people about our lives and what we live, what lives we come from, and how we used to live our lives, and how we're living our life now. We're living a new way of life. So recovery has given us a new way of life. not an extension of our whole life. It's a brand new life that we follow now. So part of this now is our treatment now. We go around telling people about recovery and sharing our experience, our strength and hope with people. So also we run a recovery center, an informal one. We help still suffering addicts, alcoholics, anyone that's suffering addiction, whether it's male or female. If it's females, we try and get other help, like there's other places that we can assist people with. So at the center of ours, we extend our hand to help the community, because as addicts that's practicing, we are on the taking side. We're robbing the community, we're stealing from people, we're breaking into houses, we're doing all these funny things. So recovery has put us on the other side of the fence now, where we can give back to the community. We can give hope to the community. We can share our love to the community. We run a feeding program on Friday at the center. My good friend Jubei is generous heart. He gives back to the community. So we also on the giving side now. We want to be good, productive members of society. So this is what we do on a daily basis now. So recovery is not an instant fix for us now. What we come to understand that if you go to the shop, you can buy instant porridge. If you go to the shop, you can buy a biryani in a can. If you go to the shop, you can buy some beans in a can. But if you go to the ATM, you put your card, you punch some digits, you get money. But unfortunately, what we know and what we come to understand that recovery is not an instant thing. Recovery you have to work for. And that's what we do now. This is part of our treatment plan, and this is our treatment program that we follow. So, I come from a dysfunctional home. My family, my mom gave me away to a friend. I grew up in a foster home, to say. My mom's friend, she adopted me later on. So later, I knew I'm staying with a foster mom. So I grew up in a place where our surroundings was very bad. We had to make ends meet. We didn't know where our next loaf of bread was coming from. I didn't know all of these things. But when I came home from school, there was a hot plate of food on the table. There was days when there was no lights at home. But my mom should put a fire, make our food, and when we're coming home to a hot meal. So I'm coming from a place of a bad background. When I grew up in a 2-bedroom house with 8 adults and 12 kids in it. 1 toilet, 1 bathroom. So I was the adopted one into the family. So the mom should teach the children, not mommy, daddy, the first words. They're teaching them how to swear. So I come from a place of that. So when I wake up in the morning, on a Saturday morning, I'm seeing strange people in my house. They're coming from the nightclub. They're having parties in the house. And that's how I grew up. And this environment that I grew up in, I wanted to escape all the time. I didn't feel comfortable in this house. I always escaped on the side. So I found my comfort on the roadside by bigger guys who became my role model. So I don't want you all to fall down this path yet. I don't want you all to go down this path yet. That's why I'm here to tell you all. Don't go. There's no life in drugs and alcohol. You're only going to waste your time. I came into the rehab when I was 26 years old. I failed and I came back when I was 36 years old. 10 years. I can't count for the 10 years. But I know my life got messed up. And I got 10 times worse. So you've got an opportunity of a lifetime now. You're still young. Everything, the world is your oyster. Make the best of it. You won't get, the only thing in life you'll get for free is an advice. And the only time you'll pay for it if you don't take it. Thanks for letting me share.
Hey. Yeah? No?
No.
Briefly, Javed. 5 minutes.
Yeah, serious. Okay, how's it, guys?
AJ took your time.
Yeah, my name is Jubei. I'm also a recovering addict. Okay, you put my whole story off. But anyway, same like him. I'm a recovering addict, and I didn't know that I suffered from a disease, and my father died as a direct result of alcohol. I was 10 years old at the time, admitted for alcoholism, admitted, and he was in the ICU, went 3 stories down. My mother was a school teacher, and up until primary school, my life was fine. I did well in school. My only achievement in school was I learned to play chess at a very young age. At the age of 6, I was I was standard 6. I was at grade 8. At grade 8, I made the high school side in chess, and in that same side was the head prefect of the school. So, everyone had high hopes for me that I was going to be something, get into a good profession, but unfortunately I picked up on alcohol, and that was to be, you know what I mean? The end of my schooling career, the end of everything, and my whole life revolved around alcohol, and afterwards I picked up on drugs, and in the year 2010, I did find a bit of recovery. I came into recovery, came to Narcotics Anonymous, but after a while I pulled back and I went back to substances. So about 5.5 years ago, I came back into recovery, and you really messed my story. what I plan to say in my head now. But anyway, guys, what we're trying to tell you is don't be a fool like me. Don't be a fool like us. We already went down that path for you. We're saying go to Alcoholics Anonymous, go to Narcotics Anonymous. You don't have to go anywhere, just don't pick up. Just don't pick up. That's the main thing. Because, we explained the disease concept. Alcoholism and addiction is a disease from which medicine has got no cure. If anyone tells you otherwise, believe you me, it's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. There is no cure for the disease of alcoholism and addiction. You know that medical journal where they got AIDS and diabetes and what? This thing is listed there. The program we follow is spiritual by nature, and the only solution is God. So,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Maybe next time I'll speak earlier about my story, but yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Afternoon, guys. Okay, so what I've picked up now and what I want to say is that if you have to ask yourself, when you're drinking and you're over drinking or drugs or whatever, and you say, I don't have an addiction, I can stop whenever I want. If you have to tell this to yourself, then you probably have an addiction. If you have to tell yourself that, no, I'm not an addict. If you have to say this to yourself, then you do need help. And from what AJ, you're not an alcoholic. And from what AJ said, guys, FAR is not just for addicts, right? You heard from Jube. He was doing well academically in primary. And then what happened? Alcohol. So even if you're not an addict now, these talks are still good for you to know what you should not do. And remember to always talk to someone. Okay, break's over and I have my shit. I hope you guys enjoyed today's talk.